Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Eagles Film Room here on Philly Sports Network with myself, Liam Jenkins. The Birds are just 1 week away from their Super Bowl appearance, and after a dominant win over the Minnesota Vikings, one matchup still stands a little bit questionable, and that was Halapoulivaati Vaitai against Everson Griffen. The defensive end had 13 sacks during the regular season and came up against a sophomore left tackle who was filling in for Jason Peters and, well, hasn't exactly had the best start to his career. So what gives? Was Vaitai as impressive as we thought, or was there more to it than meets the eye? It's time to take another look at the eye in the sky footage. We're going to start with an area of strength, and Vaitai was very impressive in run blocking all night long. On this look, the Eagles were able to pull Jason Kelce from the centre, and while Griffen got his hands on Vaitai first, he turns those legs and actually pushes him all the way back into Eric Kendricks, and this enables a big running lane for Jay Ajayi to pick up a first down. It was an impressive move from Vaitai to show that strength. He's 320 pounds. We're going to see it again here. He gets his hands underneath Everson Griffen, and from there is able to almost lift up that block and drag him away towards the sidelines. When tasked with opening the run, Vaitai ticked all of the boxes. On a double team with Wisniewski here, look at the room he's able to open up for Ajayi. Now unfortunately, Ajayi cuts and comes back and it doesn't really go anywhere, but even here, Vaitai leaps off of one block and onto another. Ajayi, as a consequence, is able to pick up an extra couple of yards. The TCU product was a huge part in their rushing success during his time there, and we can see why. Even here again, he's able to get his hands underneath Griffen for that first punch. It's a level of aggressiveness we don't really see throughout the game, but when he's able to really land that first punch to get his hands on the pass rusher first, we see a very different animal. But just how different is he in comparison to Lane Johnson? Well, let's take a look at number 65. Watch the stance of Lane Johnson, how far back he's able to keep those arms. He wants it wide. He doesn't want number 99 getting anywhere close to Nick Foles. His hands are wrapped around the arms. There's no way he's escaping through. The same sort of mechanic applies, but it's a bit more raw. The footwork's a little more hesitant. It's a bit more closed off, and we'll see here Griffen initiates that first punch. The footwork's a little sloppy, and we'll see the consequence that can have right here. Starting from a wider stance, watch Vaitai. Now Griffen gets his hand up first, and if you see Vaitai try to adjust, he throws all his body weight into that counter punch, and Griffen slides on through. He's an 8-year veteran. He's not going to take that any day of the week, and we'll see it again on this play. Now Griffen by this point has about 2 extra steps on Vaitai and just able to wrestle around. That's a QB hit on Nick Foles he didn't really have to take. Vaitai struggled to contain Griffen on these passing looks all afternoon, but for instance here, he actually stopped blocking. Griffen's keeping his eyes on the outside where Foles is scrambling, and it's an upright back for Vaitai. He feels his job is done. And that lapse of concentration can be deadly for opposing defensive ends, but for Vaitai, there were certainly some signs of impressiveness too. Here we can see him take up that sucker punch and really cling to the inside arm there. He's driving Griffen all the way around the outside, keeping him far and away from Nick Foles, and of course this play was the flea flicker touchdown that will likely go down in history. Another play was this one here. Vaitai keeps his body width firm, his stance strong, and look at that. He's bending back. He wants Griffen to have no part of Nick Foles and drives him all the way outside the pocket. That is great upper bodywork strength. It's a strong foundation, and at 6'6", 320, that's what we've come to expect. The downside is it can sometimes arrive with some technical rawness, and we see that here. Vaitai is going to take almost an 80-degree angle here for Griffen, who's driving vertically downfield to get around. There's minimal contact, Vaitai takes a bad angle, and Griffen gets around the outside relatively unscathed. There are other times where the Eagles did all they could to take the load off of Vaitai's shoulders. A double team and an Ajayi chip block there means he has very little to do, and Foles can scramble on the other side. But just how close is he to an elite level? This is the question, and if we watch the two in a very similar scenario here, Lane Johnson and Vaitai, we'll soon see the difference and how far he has to come. Here's Lane Johnson first off. Watch that stance again, big and wide, arms aside, and he's really making himself as big as possible. Vaitai, meanwhile, is compact. Everything's sort of kept in close, and this allows Griffen to really drive forward. There's no way he's going to try and get around the outside because Vaitai's inviting him in. It's as simple as that, and there is a long way to go if your name is Halapoulivaati Vaitai, but there were certainly signs of improvement there, especially in run blocking. I hope this has cleared up some of the Everson Griffen being simply shut out by Halapoulivaati Vaitai. It wasn't as convincing as it seemed to be on the television screen. And do the Eagles have their franchise tackle of the future in Vaitai? It remains to be seen. He's a developmental prospect that's got plenty of upside, but also needs plenty of work. And with Jeff Stoutland in town, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for him to reach that ceiling. I cannot believe we're nearly at 900 subscribers now, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this series. It really does mean the world to us here at Philly Sports Network. Don't forget, phillysportsnetwork.com, daily Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, Phillies content coming your way. It has been a blessing to be on this journey. We're in year 4 of the website now, and to be on nearly 900 subscribers is incredible after just a few months. So please hit that button. Let's get to 1,000 by the end of February, and stay tuned for another film room very soon.